I am so angry about this because they are misrepresenting the message of Jesus. They are misrepresenting Catholicism, Christianity. Yeah. You know, the trans community is 1.6% of our community. And if you know anything about Jesus, you know that he welcomed lepers. He welcomed prostitutes. He welcomed the least desirables among us in the society at that time.
What the hell is this
I was
have to do with
in
anything?
church. I was in church on Easter Sunday, and our entire homily at St. Charles Borromeo here in Harlem was about Jesus and about how he got up because of us and for us, and he gave his life for us. And so for them to be so hypocritical in the name of Jesus is blasphemy. And
This is blasphemy.
This is
real quick. All right.
I am so angry about it.
Look, bro, this is what I would have to say about this. Jesus hung around those people so that he could tell them the truth. He would hang around those people, but he would not. That doesn't mean that he said what they were doing is right. He still said it's the truth. Blasphemy isn't the definition of blasphemy knowing the truth and just not doing it. So we know that it's in the black and white that it's a sin. So we're not gonna act like that's blasphemous to say that we not Christians for not accepting that shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I thought blasphemy was mocking God.
Oh, it might be. I might be wrong. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
That's damn near mocking God though. On his day, the day that he rose, y'all gonna make this. Not only that, if you don't agree with it, you're not following Jesus and you're not a Christian.
Yeah, you ain't finna guilt trip me with that crap.
What?
Not finna try to trick me with that nonsense.
Nah, bro. This is they said the other day, as Christians, we do have to at a certain point, like we don't need to be violent or anything like that, but we do need to be like, all right, enough is enough. We don't rock with this.
Every time I see a clip on The View, it's always something stupid.
Man, I saw
where they so smart.
If somebody says something that starts with normalize, shut your ass up. Shut your ass up. We're not normalizing none of that.
I feel like what we went wrong is the gay marriage. I feel like that is going against God. But God does want us to like tell those people like how to, live their life better and how to follow Jesus. So I can see her point on that.
No, but he wants us to love, but that doesn't mean you agree. Like, say you have a daughter, right? You love your daughter, but if your daughter's doing wrong, you tell her something because you love her. You don't just let her do what makes her feel good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but so
when you love somebody, you tell them the truth. Like if y'all would look, bro.
What if Joe Biden tried to do? I'm not saying he did what was right, but what if he tried to do it in a loving way?
Well, the fact of the matter, we shouldn't have a day on the same day of this is a Christian nation, supposed to be. Mm-hmm. That is blatantly against the Bible in black and white. It's no debate about it.
You playing with them.
Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna put them on the same day. Yeah. That's just is blasphemy.
And then, I'm sorry, man. That they're made in God image. That just to me, y'all can get hot at me. It's just like they don't believe that God made them how they were supposed to be.
That's
so
right.
For me,
some of them.
No, they are. If you're trans, you don't
believe God made you who you're supposed to be. Not gays. No, gays. If you're gay and you say I am what I was born to be,
that's more respect. For
I have to respect you for that.
Thou shalt not judge, guys.
No, we're not judging, but when you say this is a sin and you're doing that sin, then that's what it is.
That's true.
And then you make a day for that sin, on the same
to
day.
Celebrate the sin.
To undermine the Lord
on the day that Jesus was resurrected.
I just, I have a problem with that.
I don't
like
this.
But as like, if Joe Biden didn't do that on that day, did she have a little point to what she said?
I think the only point that she was trying to make that she didn't make is you're supposed to treat them with love. Yes, you're supposed to treat them the same. Yes, but that doesn't mean you have to agree. And it doesn't mean you have to abide by their make believe rules. I can still, be like, look, man, like I love you as a Christian on this earth. I love you as a brother in Christ or whatever you are. I don't know if you're a brother or sister of Christ, whichever one you are. I ain't got no foul feelings towards you, but I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't want you.
I was still like, they said, can I ride with you to church?
You can.
Yeah, you ride with me to church. Like I would,
But I don't believe that you should be in the girls' bathroom or change with the girls.
We just don't agree. Like
I don't believe that you should be playing in little boys playing in girls' sports. I just can't. I can't see that, bro. I'm just saying. I'll let you be your person, but when you try to step the line, it's just too much.
People try to like guilt people into like accepting it. Like, why can't people have their feelings about it and we all just exist? Like people like, well, if you don't accept this, you're wrong. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Like, all right, guys.
Like, why are their feelings valid but mine not?
Facts.
Because you're a Christian, bro. It's not supposed to be valid.
No, that's what it is. Since it's the majority thing, like the majority of the country is Christians, then they're gonna do what they do. It's sad, and we just gotta keep on speaking the truth. We got people like George Janko. We got people out there who are, and I think a lot of people, especially because you can't really say it on the internet too much, who definitely agree with what we say and all these things. It's just, especially males, young males, it's just they can't really say it online or whatever because they're scared to get canceled. But we don't give a damn.
I'm just trying to understand why they make it seem like you have to accept this or you're wrong. Like, why can't people just like not agree with it and everyone move on with their life? Like, look, you can do you. I just don't agree with it.
Exactly. That's
Boom. End of discussion. Like, you gonna continue to exist. My opinion on whatever you choose to do will never affect you, and your opinion on what I choose to do will never affect me. So why can't we just leave it at that? Like, why is it always got to be a label and some type of
because they want to go to boys and girls' bathrooms,
bro? That's just something that we can't have as a society.
But that's why
society
we have it.
With functioning gender norms and morals and standards and things that we uphold. We can't have that. I feel like that's not rocket science or something that should be even argued. It's pretty simple.
I feel like this trans stuff really just be hurting my head. They make me feel like I'm catching the mental illness at this point. It's getting contagious.
It's been contagious. But did she say that the Christians who didn't agree with it were hypocritical? Is that what she said?
Yes.
Yeah. So how are you a hypocrite just because we don't? If you're a Christian and you follow, you said what it says in the book, so now you're a hypocrite because we don't agree with this in this book. I don't agree with it because it said that.
Yeah, I didn't agree when she said that. It's just that first 30 seconds didn't sound too bad from her.
Well, it kind of did though, bro.
I kind of about accepting them. Jesus did.
There's a difference between.
I don't have a problem.
No,
with
Jesus.
I don't.
Jesus loved these people.
We still don't agree.
We don't agree. Jesus could come in here right now. He could say, "I love and accept all y'all," but there's plenty of things we all do. He said, "I don't agree with that."
I never said that. I don't accept their right to do them. They're human people having a human experience, but I don't agree.
And then she compared the trans people. I'm gonna hit her with her own shit. She compared the trans people to the leopards and the people who were
the undesirables.
That's your words. Well, that's transphobic. But how do you think that made them feel?
Well, to be
how do you think they felt about that?
They're the 1.8%.
That is true.
When you look at it,
but
they are undesirable.
If Donald Trump called them the trans people undesirables, everybody would be freaking out.
Oh, they would have a.
This is Donald Trump called them undesirables. I just don't like it, bro, because she made it like if you don't agree with sin, you're a hypocrite. And that is hypocritical to say.
See, that's the thing, though, because we all sin.
We do. And we wrong for that. That's why we ask for forgiveness.
And what if we go a little too hard on their sin, No,
but it's different. Yeah, we shouldn't. No, but look, I sinned. I messed up. Boom. But like, I'm making an active choice to change my life into be a this, because God is, I'm not, that is.
To be honest with
you, you're living.
So talking about is having sex and turning yourself into a transgender or
sin is sin.
I feel like that's blasphemy.
Sin is sin, but look, a sin you do one.
Yeah, transgender.
But if you become trans, that means you plan on keeping this sin going forever.
Yeah, see,
to be honest with you, I feel like that's the worst.
But we going against God too, though.
Bro.
That's the thing, though. Sin is going against God.
But look,
too.
But you're supposed to be made in God's image. So when you came out the womb, you was supposed to be made in His image. So He made you who you was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. So you blatantly said, "I'm not."
He was wrong. God was wrong.
Completely wrong. I'm not of God.
So when we say
I stripped myself of who I was,
and we wrong when we sin. Yes, sex, all that. Sin is sin. Sin is wrong. But
it's blasphemy.
To sit here and get on like no one's saying we don't sin. Nobody's saying that. I'm just saying, as a Christian, I'm not gonna get on here and act like I agree with that when the God that I'm supposed to be following says don't do that. I do something,
Then it seems like it's another thing that He says don't do that we do.
It's just
that's what I'm saying. Like what? How's that? No, but what were you referring to right there?
I'm referring to like sex.
That's a choice.
No, but you can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not. Again, I'm not downing them. I'm just saying I'm not agreeing with it. That you can not agree with something without judging. Judging and not agreeing are not the same thing. Judging would be like all them people going to hell and there ain't the shit they can do about it. That's judging.
I don't agree with the decision. Like I don't agree with people who go out and have promiscuous sex knowing that that's wrong. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
But I don't judge you for doing that if that's what you choose to do. I don't agree with it though. If you were to ask me, do I think that's okay? I'm gonna tell you that's wrong. And you're making the choice to do wrong, knowing that it is wrong, and I can't allow. And as a Christian, I'm supposed to pull you to do better, so I'm gonna hold you accountable Bible and say, look, bro, that's wrong. But do I judge you for that?
But
And condemn you?
That's not judging though.
No, it's not. It's not. But
judging is saying you are good or you are bad.
Say that they're supposed to do better when we're all supposed to be doing.
We're all supposed to be doing better. But we're just saying, bro.
But that's the thing though. They're also, they could be seeing it as if that we think that we're better than them.
I'm not saying I'm better than you, bro. I'm just saying I don't agree with your choice.
Judging is saying you are this, you are that. We're not saying you are this or you are that. We're saying what you are doing according to the Bible is wrong.
Yes. I think
that's not judging.
In my opinion,
a trans person, if they believe Jesus died on the cross, they going to heaven.
Y'all might say I'm horrible for saying this, but they're committing the worst sin there is in the Bible. I think they commit blasphemy, bro, because they pretty much playing with God. In my opinion.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about trans. I'm low key.
If you talking about trans,
I'm talking about strictly trans this whole time.
We're talking about trans.
I was not talking about gay people. I was talking about trans this whole time.
I'm talking about the topic at hand.
Yeah, we're talking about trans, but I mean, if we say if all sins,
at the end of the day,
all sins are the same.
I don't not accept them.
We're wrong for sinning, but I'm not gonna go on here and be like, y'all should accept me.
Us having sex, are we just as bad as them?
Yes.
I think not.
So you sinning. You shouldn't be sinning.
Blasphemy is the worst sin there is in the Bible, bro. You're playing mocking God. You're not supposed.
Sin is sin, bro. You can't sin. But at the same time, that's like us getting on here and being like, y'all are hypocrites for saying us having premarital sex is bad. We know it's bad. We know it's a sin. That they're not saying that they know it's a sin. They're saying we're sinning for saying that it's a sin. You see what I'm saying? So that'd be like me saying, oh, if you have premarital sex, that ain't no sin, you know? And if you say that's a sin, you're a hypocrite. That's the exact same thing.
Yeah, but we're all humans. We're all gonna sin.
Yes.
No.
There's only one man who was without sin, and that's Jesus.
Maybe as humans we're throwing, this gay and transphobia. I mean, it's definitely bad, but like
I don't have a problem.
Maybe
with
we're looking at that.
I don't agree with it, but I'm not condemning those people for their choices. If that's what you choose to do, that's fine.
Maybe as humans,
Jesus, that's what if that's what they choose to do, that's fine. But I don't agree with it. So
yeah.
I won't.
He's not judging. He's just not agreeing.
I won't promote something that I don't agree with. But do I condemn you for that and judge you for that? No. Because we're all humans and have human experiences.
If we sat here and said they going to hell,
as a human, we all sin. So with that being said, I won't condemn them.
I'm sorry.
Or judge them for what they do, because that's what you choose to do. Because I have sins that I choose to do that others may not agree with. All I can do is try to be better and promote what I know is right to do.
So Lord forgive me, I'm going to judge them.
Is right.
Lord forgive me, I'm going to judge them.
Because
what they're doing, they're taking it too far.
You're not without sin, bro. You're not without sin, bro.
I sin too, but I'm going to judge them.
You're not without sin.
What they're doing, at the point what they're doing, is over with for me.
It is pretty
without sin.
It is definitely true. But if we're gonna say that all sins are the same, then we're all in the same
We
circle and boat on a situation. And then, like she said, what did she say that sickness was? What was it again?
Lepers.
Maybe that's she said it, but maybe that is what it was. Like transgender is today. And
but that's a disease. That's skin disease.
I know, but okay, not that.
You're taking it too literal, bro.
Okay, she said it though, but
she's just using an example.
Humans always look at something, and look at it like, oh my God, that's actually, crazy, like outrageous, something like that. Like people looked at that like that back in the day, like the sickness. Like
no, they didn't. No, because these people are choosing to do this.
It's different.
No one chose to be a leper.
Okay, yeah.
Like no one was like, I want to be a leper today.
It is.
No one woke up this morning and said, I'm gonna be a leper. I'm gonna be a.
Leprosy was a very bad sickness and disease. It made deform people.
I just feel like, bro, at the end of the day, bro, I can disagree with them without judging them. Period.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, facts. I agree. We're all humans having a human experience. We all sin.
But I don't agree with them.
No human on this earth is without sin.
None.
Yeah. Only
so
Jesus.
Why are gays overly? We're gonna say they're overly judged, but like
they're not overly judged because it's like when you have a sin. Okay, so say we sin,
and we're doing just the same sin as them,
but we're trying not to. Supposed to be trying not to. If you're not trying to not sin, then technically
you're judged more than what we are.
Who says that though?
I would say that there's a lot more controversy with this topic because it's force fed to people. Like I personally believe that if they just existed and didn't parade that around in people's faces, there would be a lot less backlash and controversy as there is, because I personally think if everyone just existed and your sexuality had nothing to do with your identity and paraded around in people's faces, more people would just exist,
Exactly.
It's not like someone's gonna stop them from being gay, but like when you parade it around and put it in people's face and say say you have to be okay with this.
You have to agree with it.
It's a problem because I don't agree with that. I'm not gonna go push that on my children or on people that I know and love because I don't agree with that. But do I condemn someone who chooses to go that route? No, because as I said, we're all human, having a human experience, and no human is without sin.
You're right.
But I have to follow, as a Christian, I have to follow the guidelines in the Bible. And in the Bible, it says a union is between a man and a woman, and that's what I believe. That's what I was raised to believe, and that's what I will promote. And that's the end of that. That's just that.
I got a real question. As a Christian, they're trying to condemn us though as Christians. So how are we supposed to respond to that?
The Bible says to turn the other cheek, bro.
Okay, but like at the point, like,
but I will stand.
Things are happening.
I will stand for what I believe in. I will stand for what I believe in, and this is something I will stand 10 toes on because it's what I believe. But at the end of the day,
quick example.
They're condemning Christians.
Most Christian fathers, they don't want their son hanging out with a gay man because Well,
I don't want that to rub off on my son.
Yeah, okay, because it might be a homophobe, whatever you want to call it, or that's against your religion. But you're okay with your son having sex.
No, if you're a real Christian, you
okay, that's what I'm saying. But a lot of Christians are
lukewarm.
Hypocrites.
Lukewarm.
So if it's all a sin, okay, yeah,
you can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose.
I want my son to be over here hanging out with this gay. I don't accept. Hey, you can't have a gay friend because I'm Christian. But then you go have sex.
No one said he couldn't have a gay friend. They said he can't agree with that though.
Well, like
we don't do that.
But it's okay to have sex.
No, it's not.
I know it's not. But we don't look at it. It's the same.
No, but we do. A very strong Christian man, like he's gonna look at his son and say, if you have premarital sex, that is a sin.
We don't look at it the same.
But we trying to.
Yeah, we trying to be better.
We trying to be better. If we're not trying to be better, then how we gonna call ourselves Christian?
Yeah, of course.
I try my best to be a Christian and walk.
Can y'all get hot at me? But one is still, it's weird for me to say this. One is still God creation. Because if you do something, it's going to, if you have sex with a woman, it's still going to, some creation is made.
And the thing about that is,
another man, no creation made.
Sex itself is not a sin. It's the premarital, right? Yes. So if you're having sex and then you get married, you fixed it. You fixed the covenant, right? You're no longer sinning. But if you are in a gay marriage or a trans, you didn't never fix it. So you are actively sinning until you die. And you're not going to change. That is the problem.
You're making a choice.
You're actively choosing, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life and I don't care.
It's definitely worse.
So it's not like, I'm not saying it's bad or worse. I'm just saying that's the difference. When if you two people in love and they're having sex and they plan on getting married and they're like, we were slipping up this and that, I don't look at that as bad because they're eventually trying to fix the covenant. But yes, premarital sex is wrong. We all know that. There's no debate about that. And kids, anybody shouldn't teach your kids to do that if you're a Christian, this and that. But at the same time, and then that affects so many other things too, because now you see with the pedos, how that.
It's definitely worse. I'm just comparing it to, you let your homie have sex upstairs, but you ain't gonna let your gay friend have sex. It's just people look at it different.
But you don't agree with it because your principles.
Yeah, but according to the book, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but at least if those people was married, there wouldn't be one. That one shouldn't be regardless.
That's why it is worse. We can say that, but if we technically, how we saying it, how it's the same thing, then technically.
If it's technically, they're both sin. But either way. If you actively living in sin and you plan on not changing, that's a problem.
But cities have been destroyed because of it, so I can definitely see why people are just not rocking with it. But yeah. All right, guys, let us know what y'all think.
God have destroyed the city.